Welcome to Wild, Wise and Curious, Jenny. It's really good to have you with us.
Oh, I'm absolutely thrilled. Thank you, Michelle, and lovely to see you, Lou.
You too, Jenny. We've been really looking forward to talking to you today.
Yeah, we absolutely have. So, as we always start the show, quick question. How did you come to realise you were in perimenopause, Jenny?
I think because my mood dropped dramatically, and there was a blend between is this hormone depression, and I didn't really know the difference between
Yeah.
the two. I was in my 40s, so I really felt like, oh, I couldn't recognize myself, and some of my behaviors were off the radar. You know, how I was speaking to the kids and really short tempered and just really all over the place and brain fog. I remember having that brain fog and yeah, just very unpleasant with all the night sweats and everything and that sleep deprivation. Awful.
And did this all kind of hit you all at once, Jenny, or was it a gradual
No,
process?
I think it hit me like that.
Yeah.
And I could feel the hot flushes that started in my tummy and it just went whoop. And I was really conscious of my appearance, thinking, God, if I'm feeling like this on the inside, I must be like a Belisha beacon from the outside,
Yeah, yeah.
you
And then you
know?
got really self-conscious about
Yes.
it,
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah, and it unnerves you. And I think also because of that, your self confidence drops because the person that you once were is suddenly like swept from underneath your feet and you have to adjust and it's like who is this person, and
Yeah.
it is quite unstabilizing and dysregulating the whole process, I think.
So did you recognise it as perimenopause at the time when you were starting to get the hot flushes, or was that a conversation you had with somebody?
Well, it was a bit of a mix match, really, to be honest with you. So yes, I recognized it in myself that there was some adjustment. I had conversations with my GP who put me on everything under the sun, and some of which I just blew up like a Michelin woman, not man, but
Oh, okay.
that
Yeah.
iconic Michelin man that was just
Yeah.
like rolls and
Yeah.
rolls and rolls. I remember I couldn't put my shoes on sometimes because my feet were so swollen. Um, and yeah, talking to my husband at the time as well, recognizing it from there because my mood had changed dramatically. I was becoming very distant and, as I say, argumentative, and that didn't help with our relationship either. Um, and I also had developed fibroids, so I went for a hysterectomy.
Okay.
They kept my ovaries because although I was perimenopausal, they didn't want to take me straight into menopause, so I kept hold of those. But yeah, it was quite an awakening. So yeah, all of that, all like a real cauldron of perimenopausal symptoms and yeah, indications.
So you said that you spoke to your GP and they put you on a whole raft of things.
Mm.
What was all that you were put on?
Well, Citrapan was one of them.
Okay.
That was obviously to help with my mood as well as the hot sweats and the menopause, perimenopause symptoms. I can't remember what the other one was that made me swell up. It was apparently it was a bit of an old type of medicine, let's just say. I think
Okay.
it wasn't necessarily up to speed with nice guidelines. Um, and I tried patch for a while, and that just, I don't know if it did help or not, to be honest, because I couldn't distinguish between what was medically helping me and what wasn't. It was, as I say, all very much of a blur. So I did try the patch for a while. No, not a while. And then I went on to, because of all of this and nothing quite working, I went on to Holland and Barrett. There are other herbal stores out there.
They're available, yeah.
Yeah, that's Mango just making her entrance. Mango's
Oh,
not.
hello, Mango.
Hello.
She'll get in on the act. Oh, there we are. There's a note.
Beautiful.
get up to, Mum? Um, yes, so I went into Holland and Barrett, had a conversation with the advisor there, and came back with a massive plastic bag full of everything. I do remember one of them was black cohosh, which
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
evening primrose oil. It was really difficult to navigate through. Um, and obviously now I'm postmenopausal, and I still get the hot flashes now and again.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is quite sort of like, oh my God, where's that come from? You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what would you say from your big bag of Holland and Barrett? What did anything from there work for you, or were there other things that you implemented that sort of helped you get through those sort of tricky times?
Yeah, I think to be honest, it was about self-regulation.
Yeah.
And for me, as I say, I didn't know the difference between what was perimenopausal, what was my mood swings, and depression as well. I'll admit. Um,
Hysterectomy.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a
hysterectomy.
big thing, right?
Dealing
Let's
with the
throw that in.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I walked.
Yeah.
I just walked because I just thought, right, I could. It's nature telling me my body is adjusting, so maybe I just need to bond with nature and just go and walk it
Yeah,
through.
love that.
And it was good for my head, obviously, and good for my body. And yeah, when the hot flushes came, I was at least outside. So and also, taking the dogs out at least twice a day. So that helped considerably. So yeah, I think it's finding your own path, some of it.
Absolutely.
Obviously, there's nice guidelines and there's new symptoms coming out, and another one a month type of thing, which is great because I think that informs women,
Yes. Yeah.
and those in the family as well, because I think it really needs to be discussed.
Oh, it does. Yes.
Yeah. But I think it's about finding your own way as well.
Yeah. And we find that everybody that we speak to, their way is slightly different to the next person, isn't it? We're all kind of making it up as we go along and borrowing from other people.
Yeah.
Oh, they're experiencing the same as me. Maybe what they did might help me as well. So, it's really good to talk about all our experiences, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my blueprint for the menopause was my mother.
Right.
And I remember her moods were just so volatile.
Yeah.
And if it was throwing things. And I I remember that she had hot sweats as well. So I just thought, God, I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to follow that blueprint. Thank you very much. Because she was really off the radar with her moods and things.
Yeah.
Pleasant to be around a mother in that. But then there wasn't any conversation because that would have been, I'm just trying to think here, that would have been in the 70s,
Yeah.
and the conversation around perimenopause, the menopause, postmenopause, just didn't
Wasn't
happen.
there, was
No,
it?
it wasn't even in the.
No, it
Just
wasn't.
thought, what the hell's wrong? Well, I didn't say hell, but
Yeah.
as a 10-year-old, what is wrong with mum?
Yeah.
And there was a distinct Jekyll and Hyde approach to every day. You didn't know quite how she was going to react. Certainly didn't help her marriage, I don't think, to my dad. So there, yeah, and my own siblings also, we didn't really understand. We just thought mum was just being mum and being really awkward, not realizing that she was going through this. Well, she called it the change. That's the thing.
Yes, it was very much the Jermaine Greer sort of
Yes.
terminology, wasn't it, back then?
And just sort of a precursor to my own period. So I started my periods when I'm trying to think, about 11. And I remember this is one of the emotional memories that you hold on to because it's so traumatic. I remember having my first period, had never had a conversation, never had a conversation about what a period was. And we were all sat round the dining room table having breakfast, and I was getting ready to go to school. So I was in my school uniform and I had to catch the bus to go to school. And I remember running through to her, whispering in her ear, saying, "Mummy, I'm bleeding." And instead of saying to me, "Oh, darling, come here, give me a hug. Let me, maybe not school today.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this," because I'd never had any
Yeah.
conversation. God, don't listen, Mum. she she said, "Oh, bloody hell, she started the curse."
Oh, crikey.
Wow.
And she announced this, right, well, in front of my dad. That was like, so you got to think, 70s, you just don't talk about female things.
Yes.
In front of my two older siblings as well. And I thought, am I a witch?
Yes. And that's the thing, isn't it? This is the
Yes.
first kind of indication of what's going to happen. And you're like, oh my gosh, what is happening to me?
Yeah.
And it's been
I've got a
announced.
like,
What's going to happen to me?
Yeah.
and needless to say, I caught the school bus. Had no idea, and she gave me a sanitary towel, and I thought, well, what do I do with it? What do I do with it? What? Do I keep it on all day? Can I go swimming? I've got swimming today. What do I do?
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
So very, yeah, not very
Yeah.
as a child, and thankfully, with my own daughter, things and my sons, things have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just as well, really, when you sort of think about it. I mean, I think my nan was going through menopause probably in the 60s, very early 70s. And she had a full hysterectomy, went straight into a chemical menopause and was just left to get on with it.
Yes.
She had a nervous breakdown, and she was just, I mean, she righted herself, but it took a lot of time. And I think, I remember my mum saying that, my nan used to kind of chase around the house and stuff because, it was just really, really difficult. And also not talking about these things back then. You were just kind of, well, like you, when you started your period, you just kind of left to get on with it and without any background information.
But it was part of the time as
It
well.
was part of
It
the
was
time.
just, women thought I was crazy. And, she's just being crazy. Not that, she's going through hell.
No.
No understanding of it at all. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're through the other side now.
Yes.
What's it feel like?
Please tell us it's not fresh hell over there.
Well, apart from the odd hot do, as my mum would say, really good. I'm okay with it. Yeah. It's
So
fine.
are you still taking HRT, Jennie?
No, I'm taking nothing. What you see is who I am. Yeah.
Okay. So you only lasted a short amount of time with the HRT.
Oh gosh, only a couple of
You
months. Probably didn't even touch the sides, to be honest.
Yeah.
And to be the other thing is, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Although going to your GP and you get an assortment of different things to try, I don't think there's any what to expect is this. So you could then indicate, oh, okay, I can feel that adjustment. My GP had said X, Y, and Z, and there wasn't any of that either. So I don't know if that was lack of their knowledge or just a time element, because as we know, they only have 10 minutes in an appointment. There are a resource that mustn't be abused, but it's just I don't think the experience was very informative, let's just say.
No, and you do need the time, don't you? Because you want to talk about the things that are going on. I spoke to somebody the other day, totally unrelated, but she was saying that she had 7 or 8 things going on that she wanted to talk to the doctor about, but she was only able to talk about 2 things at this particular appointment. And I was saying to her, but what if all 7 things are because of the same, pretty much, which would be, I say it's unrelated, actually it's not, it's probably totally related. And you want to be able to sit down with somebody who will listen to the things that are going on for you, listen to how you feel, and then kind of almost give you a cuddle and say, yeah, it's all right, this is okay, we can do this for this or that for that, or maybe up your walking, or have you tried something like Qigong or yoga, or have you looked at sort of, changing your foods, and we don't have that, do we? We literally have the 5-10 minutes with a GP who doesn't have the time to go into all that, and then you've got to find out the rest of the information yourself. And there's so much, as like you always bang on about it, don't you? There's so much stuff out there that actually even that can be like overwhelming, can't it?
Yeah, and where do you start?
Exactly. Where do you start?
And we're not pigeonholed. I think the other thing is, you know, you look at all the symptoms and nice guidelines around this, you know, every woman is individual, like our thumbprint. So, you know, how can we just say, right, you know, try that
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's going to work? You can't. The other thing, I'm not wanting to necessarily bang on about GPs, but have to say a bit of a caveat around this is that I know how general practice works. I used to be a general practice manager, so I do know how it works. So I am coming from a place of authenticity. But I do find that if GPs were allowed, and it is the word allowed, permitted, to have longer appointment time, get on top of everything, it's going to be more efficient.
Of course.
Use of system of a finite resource to have a one hit, get it all done, rather than that individual having to keep ringing up, can I see the GP again, or have a telephone consultation again? You know, to me, it's more better use of resources, which is time.
Yeah, and that's got to be so much less stressful for the GPs that are having to deal with people coming in with so many different things going on.
It's holistic.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's what the key is.
Yeah, but we do be very realistic about the fact that they only get a small amount of training on menopause.
Menopause per se.
Yeah, and they are general practitioners. They are expected. We expect so much from them that we're going to go in and they're going to know exactly what's wrong with us. And I think some of it goes back further. You know, going back to your conversation about, early menstrual health. And it's, you know, we need to be our own advocates, really.
Yeah,
so we need to start understanding our own bodies from a really young age.
Before we start our periods.
Yeah.
So that you know what's coming when it comes.
Yeah. And that then you can go and say, actually, I know that this is not right for my body. And, you know, understand, it's like understanding your car a little bit more. So you know,
of course, it's going under the bonnet and knowing what everything does.
So I think, you know, there's a big, you know, for me, there's a real big importance of us understanding our own bodies a lot more, because we are also unique. They are not going to know everything that's going on.
And we do rely on externals to fix us. When if we know our own bodies and we know what's right and what's wrong, then at least we are coming from a place of knowing.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, the other thing to throw into this is that we are the experts on us.
We absolutely are, 100%.
You know, so we're the expert patient on us. So, you know, if we've worked through things, or we recognise what works, doesn't work, so we know what our bodies, and we're more enabled to be in tune with our bodies, and we present that to our GPs, the GPs really have got their expert patient sat in front of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I find with my GP, if I go in and I've done a lot of research around what's going on, this was particularly around perimenopause and stuff, he would listen to me and he would take it on board. And he's even like put his neck out, and he's now, I now get as part of my HRT prescription testosterone, which a lot of GPs won't do. But because I've spoken to him in depth about it and about the benefits, he listened and made adjustments for me. So if you kind of go in with the knowledge and the knowledge of your own body and the knowledge of what is working, then in my experience, he listened to me. And it's a lesser job for him to do, right?
Yeah. And you're not likely to go back to the GP again, because it is a prescription that fits your body. And the evidence is out there about testosterone as well. It's not as if it's a rogue type of thing.
No. I mean, I was put on it initially by a private healthcare menopause clinic. And then it was just when I managed to get my own GP to prescribe it, because I was kind of getting the estrogen and progesterone element from my GP and still having to go private for the testosterone. And eventually over time, he kind of, you know, fine, I'm fed up of seeing you, Michelle. Stop ringing me at home.
Yeah.
Is that you again?
Yeah, but again, you know, those sorts of things. It's good. It's good for the women who come after you as well, because if something works for you, if for me, it might work for someone else, and it might make their journey to receive that a little bit easier.
Definitely.
Yeah, and but it is tricky navigating, and kind of finding the support that's out there, because what works for one doesn't work for the other, as we've said.
Yeah. And like we were saying as well, it is overwhelming, the amount of information is out there. And, you know, like going into Holland and Barrett and going, right, I've got these symptoms, I've got these symptoms, give me everything that will help with that. And then you don't know actually what is helping. No. It's a massive minefield. So it's really important, I think, for us to know our bodies before we go through this change.
Yes.
So it's having these conversations before, you know, we're going through it.
So we're learning on the go.
Yeah.
But hopefully the women that come after us.
Yeah.
But actually, it's like you're saying, it's the younger women, isn't it? Even like, you know, starting periods or not long into that. I mean, I can't imagine that the sex education that you got, I mean, I don't even remember anything about menopause going back, you know, when I was in school. But, and periods, there'd be the little bit about periods and about reproduction and that sort of thing. But that was about it, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I don't think I actually really completely understood my body until I came into this time.
It was almost just something that happened, and you just got on with it.
Like, I understood when it came to pregnancy, you know, and all that kind of stuff. The basics, I'm going to say the basics, and I know a bit of biology, but it was only really when I came to perimenopause that I truly understood how important all of those hormones are to the body, and what they can affect and how they can affect. I mean, I've got itchy ears, I've got itchy skin. This is all to do with, you know, my declining hormones. How would I have known that?
No.
You know, so it's just so important for us to have these conversations.
You don't realise how important the hormones are, do you?
Yeah.
Until you've not got them.
Yeah.
And I feel really strongly as well about the fact that we get to this stage in life and we're starting declining hormones, and also the realisation of all the stuff that we've put up with over the years.
Yeah.
You know.
And or put off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then it comes into growing into this kind of time of life as well, which is quite important. But when you were talking about the GPs, I don't know if you've seen in the news recently that it's been talked about the misogyny in the NHS and how that's going to be. Yeah, West Streeting was having doing a thing about it. And I just thought that was really interesting that that's being raised now.
And actually on the news for the public to hear.
And they're actually, you know, recognising that has been a thing that women have been dealing with for such a long time. Yeah. And feeling like they're being gaslit a lot of the time. Yeah. So another reason why we need to be our own advocates.
Yeah, we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about this time of midlife then, Jennie. So you were going through all of these symptoms, you were trying to find things that were working for you, you know, finding the tools for your toolbox and realising that walking, and you were saying about self-regulation was really important to you as well. So tell us a little bit more about that and that part of your time of midlife.
Yeah, so it was a really quite a challenging time, to be honest, because I was working part-time 3 days a week, and managing being in the workplace with the menopause, perimenopause symptoms, that was challenging in its own right. Often I would go out of the office just to go and stand in the fresh air to cool down, because it was, the surgery was so hot anyway, but equally I was having my own thermostat going up as well. And I remember sitting in meetings and just sort of sitting there, you know, with a piece of paper, fanning myself. And that's quite, you know, when you think about it, if you want to be really professional, that's not professional, is it? But you've got no other way of dealing with it if you have a hot sweat apart from, sticking your head out of a window. And again, that's not necessarily professional. So
Yeah, it's not
interesting.
being
That
received.
concept, isn't it? The
Yes.
concept of what professional
Professional is.
is, because that is the concept of professionalism, isn't it? That we've kind of been brought up with.
Yes.
You wouldn't sit planning yourself or going like this at the window, because you've got to sit composed and get
You've
through
got to look that way. And I think we put ourselves under an awful lot of stress, additional stress, because of that.
We've been
And
conditioned
it's
to
interesting
do
you brought
that.
about the NHS, isn't it? I've worked in the NHS for 30, I'm no longer in it, but I worked in the NHS for on and off for 30 years. And, there is this persona. And if you deviate from that persona, again, that doesn't help your well-being either.
Yeah. Also, there's an element of us masking a lot of stuff as well,
Yes,
because we're going through so much and we're having to push through.
You're sitting on
that.
it.
Which just makes you feel even more stressed. I don't know about you, but I had an experience this week where I normally have hot sweats during the night, so it doesn't really bother me that much, and it's not been too bad. It's been manageable. But this week there was a day where it was affecting me so much during the day, and I was like, I have never had this so much during the day. I realised it was stress related.
Yes.
My body was feeling stressed, so they've got the cortisol and the adrenaline and all that kind of stuff. And I put it down to the fact that actually I've been really quite stressed this week, and is that then having a knock-on effect to me having the hot flush? And I was curious as to whether that would correlate for you, Jennie.
Yeah, I think, yes, I think there was a lot of that going on as well. And it's just, as I say, it's really hard to distinguish what's one thing, isn't it?
Yes. Well, it all blurs together, doesn't it?
It does.
So
But then when you think about it, it's likely to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we're a system.
Absolutely.
We're a system.
Yeah, and we have estrogen receptors all over our body, don't we?
Exactly.
So, of course, you're going to have different things going on throughout your body.
Now, I'll tell you the other thing that I noticed was that I was going deaf.
Okay, yeah.
And I've now developed a bit of a technique of lip reading.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing I noted, was that I couldn't hear people unless I was actually looking at them.
Okay.
And I was relying on reading their lips and following the structure of, what they were saying, as well as hearing as best I could. Yeah, and that's a knock-on effect of the dropping of estrogen is that you start to, where does that come from? That was, again,
Yeah, I have exactly the same thing, Jennie, and it like shocked me when I realised that I was using that as a strategy to help me understand what people were saying. The first time I noticed it is me and my husband went to a pub, and I'd still got my sunglasses on, and the guy was talking to me behind the bar, and I said, I can't hear what he's saying. And he said, what do you mean you can't hear what he's saying? I said, it's because I've got my sunglasses on. And I must have sounded really daft.
Yeah, but it makes total sense.
it's true.
That's why I know it was the first time I made the connection that I was actually doing a lot more lip reading when I was talking to people than I anticipated.
I love the way that you work that out. That's incredible. Can't hear what he's saying. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Because I couldn't see what he was saying.
It makes
But one impairment makes you rely on a different sense, which is visual.
Yeah. I've noticed over recent months, and I'm trying not to bring attention to it, but
you are now.
Oh my God. And all those millions of people that are going to listen. But I'm doing the old, I'm reading, and my eyes have always been really good, and I've been able to look and see things, what they say miles away and then up close as well. But I'm finding that, or is it that the writing on the tins and things are getting smaller?
Yes, it's that.
Is it that?
Yeah.
But I'm finding I'm having to push things further back, and my dad's like, oh, Michelle, once you start to push things back, it only goes one way. I'm like, shut up. But this is only a recent thing for me. And I don't know, there's just little funny things that happen that you would definitely not link to hormones?
Well, you just put that to age, wouldn't you?
Of course you would.
And that's a lot of people do as well. Oh, I'm just getting older. I've got aches and pains. I'm just going to accept that because I'm getting older now. But actually, is that because of that, or is that because of your collagen and you know? And that's the problem, isn't it? It's all blurry.
It is all proper blurry.
Yes.
Especially for me with that text.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I knew that my eyesight was going, because when I was working on the computer screen, I was having to go like this.
Yeah.
Almost adjusting my visual field, or almost looking down my nose, which looks snooty, but it's how I have to almost adjust my eye tilt and the lens to look at things. And then went to the optician. You have to wear glasses.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess as well, we're all on screens a lot these days as well, aren't they? So I mean, that's got to have some impacts on your eyesight. You know, it's not good to stare at screens. I think I was working on it on my laptop yesterday, and every now and again I get a message saying, "Oh, you've been on this laptop don't you think you want to go for a break?"
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
That's very good.
I know. I said no. I have too much to do. Got to get these project things done. But yeah, I mean, we have so many different things so we have our bodies, and we have what's going on in our own individual bodies, but then we all live in different areas, we all have different levels of pollution, we all have different eating, nutrition, different exercise, so we are like complex little universes, every single one of us, aren't we?
Yes.
You know, so
toxicity from the environment, from relationships, you know, there's so many things that are interweaving, and to untangle that is enormous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's no wonder the GPs.
I don't know.
I haven't got a clue. So Jenny, what did you sort of like once you'd sort of like experienced the symptoms and you'd worked out and you'd come through to the other side?
The other
side, yeah. This second half of life where we've got, you know, a nice 50 years to do the stuff we want to do.
Yes.
Can you talk to us a little bit about, you know, the sorts of work that you kind of went into at this point?
So yes, I'm just thinking, how am I going to phrase this? So you're exactly right. External influences influence our internal emotions and what we feel and our hormones again. And for me, I was up and down in terms of, perimenopause, depression, and that materialized into me deciding to leave my husband. I don't know how much of, again, this is it. I don't know how much of it was the aftermath of going through the menopause, post-menopause, how much of it was depression from work and relationships, or, you know, just life. I know that I was really receptive to the news at the time, you know, and I can't remember what was in the news, but every day is not great, is it?
No.
Think about it. There's nothing like good news. It's all continuous negative news. So I think there was a lot of things at play there. Anyway, needless to say, I chose to separate from my husband, and that was a real challenge, because I call it my maybe years. I was in 3 years postmenopausal. In my maybe years, my self-esteem had reduced. I was creating or trying to create a new identity for myself, because I'd left work, my kids had left home, they were all very much empty nest. And I was thinking, who the hell am I? I don't know who I am anymore. And I think the element of that, you may well get your symptoms of your perimenopause, but your identity suddenly shifts. Well, it certainly did for me. And my happiness shifted. I wasn't happy. And from that maybe years, that indecision, I was incredibly indecisive. I've never been indecisive. I'm very good at asking other people's opinions and then come to my own. But for whatever reason, deciding to leave my marriage, 3 years, I'd say, right, today's the day I'm going to announce it. No, it's not. And it was like a constant
Wow.
pendulum
Yeah.
for 3 years. Can you imagine that on your body as well?
Yeah.
And I made the decision after 3 years and started a new career as a result of it. And so now my career is helping, and this is me. I am my avatar.
Yes.
I am my ideal client.
Yeah.
So my ideal client is women in their midlife years, potentially perimenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal, who are pretty much in a similar boat as myself, wondering about their relationship. Is it really what they want? And if it is, how with my help I can reignite it for them so that they give it almost one last shot, knowing we're back on track, we're fully engaged with each other, that disconnection that we previously had has gone, so all is good in the world, or one last shot, giving their absolute all, and then recognizing we're not on the same page. And then I help women to extract themselves from their marriage as a divorce coach.
Wow.
So it's all in the, for me, it's all in the decision, because I can relate to that aspect so much. And when we're talking about divorce, there is a lot of blurb out there about the process, how long it takes, and that journey, that navigation, but not so much about how the hell do you make the decision.
Yeah. So the cold stuff you can kind of read how to do it, but the emotion,
that's a logical approach. It's if you're using this legal representative, you've got that.
Yes.
But the decision isn't.
No.
The decision when you are faced with how we've just expressed, we are our expert patient of ourselves, and then we're wanting to make a decision about our relationship because it's not 100%, and you go back onto that pendulum, and it's like another pendulum of indecision and not knowing yourself, and your hormones are all over the place. So that's what I do, and that's a result of me going through the whole process.
Because it's really difficult when you're going through a divorce that it's really hard to talk to anyone about it, about that period before you've made the decision, because it's such a personal thing.
Yes.
If you talk to anybody within your circle of friends or family, everybody's going to have an opinion.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everybody has got their own take on what you're doing, why you're doing it, and that kind of thing. And to have somebody outside of that can give you an objective process to follow that must be incredible. I wish more people would be able to.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I wish I was doing
had one.
Go to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, because it is such a personal decision, and even to open up, even to have, particularly if you are perimenopausal, to open up and lay your heart literally on the table and say, me and Joe are not getting on at the moment, and for your friends and family to really listen without judgment, without society judgment as well. That was the other thing that was very crippling. I got married in the church. I'm not particularly religious, but you say your vows in front of God and in front of an audience of however many people. There is a certain degree of declaration there in front of others, isn't there? And all of that. And then you judge yourself as well. And then it's about, how am I going to tell, if I do make the decision, how am I going to tell my family? What's my employer going to think? How how am I going to navigate that in the workplace, plus be, in the throes of perimenopause? I mean, we have the menopause policy now in the whole, don't we, in the workplace? But I would love to have a relationship policy as well, particularly around women who are in the throes of this indecision. Their hormones are erratic, naturally so. But it's such a difficult time.
Yeah, knowing whether it's because it's a really high. There's a lot of women leave their husbands, don't they, at this time?
Yeah. I mean, if there was a spike at any point, it's this point. That they call them the silver splitters.
Yeah.
I've not heard that before.
No.
Yeah. Hence, I colour my hair. Yeah.
Silver Splitters. It sounds like a really shit band. Sorry, Jenny.
Well, that's what they call them. Is that
Oh no, that's tickled me now. Sorry.
But the Office of National Statistics demonstrates that women from 40 plus years are now the key demographic who are pursuing divorce.
Yeah.
And there are more couples splitting in this age range, and women, as you've just said, are stepping up and making that decision. And I think if you think about to maybe your own mother or your grandmother's period, it was very much sticking through it.
Yes.
Sticking through the marriage despite feeling that you weren't on track, you were no longer on the same page.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think it's quite revolutionary that women are feeling confident enough once they made that decision to pursue it.
Yeah, but we've spoken about it before, haven't we? Where we feel like, you almost feel like there's this thing where you've kind of been sold a bit of a lie that you've got to meet someone, you've got to get married, you've got to have children or not have children, you've got to live in a house together and everything else. But actually, we don't have to do any of that, do we? We can pursue a life if we want to be single for the rest of our life, great, or have a partner who lives somewhere else, or where it all sort of stems from. We can just be ourselves, can't we, and live the way we want to. And I think maybe that's sometimes might be where, I don't know, whether women are coming from that space where they've kind of all their life thought, I've got to get married and have the 2.4 kids and the house and a car each and have a part-time job and a full-time job, whatever.
Yeah.
And then by the time they come to this sort of age and stage in their life where you go, oh, you bugger, I might only have 30 years left. What do I want to do with that? Am I happy where I am? Am I,
Yeah.
It raises questions, I suppose, doesn't it?
It does. And you're right. I think all this intergenerational blueprint beliefs.
Yeah.
I would like us as the next generation to really, and those who listen, to really think about, are we following a blueprint from our mothers and our grandmothers and maybe our great-grands that is just intergenerational?
Yeah.
Because if I had my time now, I love my children, but if I had my time again, I think I would still have children, but I wouldn't get married, and I wouldn't have necessarily a home.
Yeah.
I think I just would want to travel.
Yeah.
And now that we have the beauty of a computer, we can earn money as we go.
You travel.
We actually don't need to go to an office.
No.
We don't necessarily need to do the things that we've traditionally done.
No.
We've got much more flexibility, and I think women are waking up to that.
Yeah.
And waking up, looking across to their partner and thinking, do I really want to be with that person for the next 30 odd years?
Yeah. And I think it's the same with jobs as well, isn't it?
Yes,
because there's
definitely.
a real push on, lots of menopausal women are leaving the workplace, we need to work towards keeping them in. Well, actually, is it just because they don't want to do it anymore? They've had that. It's all about identity, isn't it?
It is.
You know,
It is.
actually, like you've just said about the marriage, it might be how you feel about the job. Is this the job I want to do until I die? Is this fulfilling me in the way that it should be? Or was it always just a way to pay the bills? What do I want to show up in the world as now? And I think, there's this, and it gets my goat a little bit sometimes, you know, when I'm like, oh, I see things that say we need to keep women, you know, in the jobs, we need to keep women in the marriages. And it's like, actually, no, women are telling us that they are unhappy and they want to make changes. We need to be able to support that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, because obviously if we're able to then show up as our authentic selves, we are going to be much happier in the world.
Of course we are.
And we are going to be sharing that, and the ripple effect is enormous.
Yeah. Because the alternative is what? Prison, isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it? If you're in a relationship and you're not happy, but you've got to stick it through, you said your vows, you're in prison in your home, you're in prison in your relationship. It's not.
Sorry, my brain skipped a few steps ahead then when you said, what's the alternative? Prison. And I was like,
prison.
ooh,
But it is prison.
That saying, isn't there? You get less for murder.
I thought the same. I did think the same.
So I'm glad we've gone back. I'm glad we've stepped back. Yes, but you're right. Yeah, you're being a prisoner in your own home.
You've got things that have been taken away out of your life because you feel that you've got to stay in this, you know, status quo.
Yeah.
You know, you're restricting yourself, or the powers that be are, like you've just said, you know, we've got to keep women in a certain age in the workplace. Yeah. Well, no, because that's us conforming to somebody else's agenda.
Exactly that.
Absolutely.
And therein lies the problem from the very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prison.
Oh, I'm glad I got that bit wrong.
But also, I just wanted to say, but you're in prison in your head as well, aren't you?
Yeah, of course.
You know, if you've got certain beliefs, you know, going back to the blueprint, certain beliefs and values, you know, my mother did it, so I've got to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
And then that becomes a whole lot of conditioning that we've got to unpack at some point to be able to live our authentic selves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then that's a whole load of other work.
I was going to say, it's a lifelong learning, isn't it? Unlearning everything you've learned.
Yeah, and I do feel like that's most of our issues.
Yeah.
You know, we've been conditioned so much from such a young age.
Yes.
Forming to this, like you've said, blueprint that actually doesn't serve us.
No.
It doesn't serve a lot of us.
No, it doesn't.
So it's working out, okay, so what does?
Yeah.
Who am I? What do I want to show up in the world as? And trying to follow that. And it's those, you know, glimmers, isn't it? I've heard it referred to. It's those little glimmers that kind of point the way. But because we're all individual, it's only really when we're having conversations like this that little things will start to pop out to us, isn't it? And you'll think, oh, yeah, actually, I could do that or whatever. But I really am a massive advocate of us having conversations, because that's the way that we kind of learn and process. And, you know, as you talk about through story, it's really important.
It is really important.
And the other thing I think throwing into the mix here is that if you deviate from what past generations have previously done, is do it unapologetically.
Yes.
Because otherwise you go down a route of people pleasing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've chosen this route. I'm really sorry I've chosen this route. And you're playing to somebody else's tune.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm actually going to do this, and this is where happiness is. And, you know, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
You don't have to say, I'm sorry. You just have to say, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The likelihood is most people don't really care.
No.
Everybody's in their own heads, aren't they, about what they need to be doing, that you can just be going off and doing your thing. And no, but I've realised that, you know, all the things that I was worried about possibly doing over the years, and I'm just doing them, and I'm like, no one really cares.
No one cares. No.
Because we're all wrapped up in our own little heads anyway, aren't we? And if we took everybody else's take on things, we'd be overwhelmed even more. So we're just consumed with our own self-importance. So I wouldn't worry about being
definitely. And what do they say? What anybody else thinks of you is none of your business.
Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah. Well, that feels like a really nice place for us to round up.
It does.
Yeah,
Thank you very
super.
much for coming on, Jenny. It's been wonderful to talk to you.
Yeah.
Oh, I've loved it. Loved it.
You
And
really
You
we'll
to carry on doing what you do as well.
Oh, thank you, and you.
Facing out there.
Definitely. And we'll put your web links and everything on the blurb for the podcast. So if anybody wants to get in touch with you, is that, all good?
That's the way to go. Yeah, I'm on social media and my website as well.
We'll put all those bits on for you so that anyone can get in touch.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you ever so
I really
much.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks,
Thank
Jennie.
you. Take care.
care.
See you.
Bye. Bye.